Hello and welcome to the Sunset Coast Disc Golf Club's Up Vic Creek presented by Disconnection. I'm Jason McCormick. If you haven't met me before or you don't know me, I'll be the tournament director for the event, and I'll be taking you through the players meeting tonight. First of all, I'd just like to start by thanking our sponsors, who without these guys, the event just wouldn't be the same. So Disconnection are our title sponsor for the event. They have come on board and will be providing all the prize vouchers. We've got a few major sponsors: DSB Accounting Solutions, Cause I Can Custom Camping Gear, Harvey Construction, Skilled Solutions Australia, and the Elevated Living Company. We've got some whole sponsors on board as well. We've got Eagle Eye Coating, Disc Dies Gaz, Sockable Fundraising, and Boat McQuaid. We will be playing 2 rounds of 18 holes at Taylor Reserve and Sir James Mitchell Park in Vic Park and South Perth on the foreshore, which is a beautiful location for disc golf, and I'm really excited to get to play there. We have two layouts. We've got the blue and the gold. We'll go through some more details about those holes a little bit later, but for now, let's get through a bit of housekeeping. Toilets on the day will be located by hole 2 at Taylor Reserve, so a bit of a trek if you're at the far end of Sir James Mitchell, so make sure you go while you're there. They'll be open all day. We've got keys for those. Then payments. If you haven't paid your entry fee, please jump online and pay that as soon as possible so that I can get PDGA sorted out and get groups assigned tomorrow. I will be sending this out by email, so I'll put a link in the description as well. Just make sure you pay the correct one for either amateur or professional, depending on which division you're playing. As always, we want to make sure that we're safe out on the course, so be aware of pedestrians. There is a couple of holes that play pretty close to some footpaths, especially hole 11 and 12, so just make sure that it's safe to throw. Don't throw if there's any chance that you're going to hit someone, and if you need to, maybe just send a spotter out as well. Rulings. If you're not sure of a ruling, you can always ask a rules official. They'll be able to help you out. Otherwise, the alternative is to just take a photo or a couple of photos of the situation and play a provisional. So you'll play your actual shot and then play another shot as if whatever the opposite ruling is, and then we can decide on it after the round and see which score is the correct one. Scoring will be done through the PDGA website. You can either do it on the app or you can do it online at pdga.com/score. The event code is no paddle. So no paddle without a space. So NOPADDLE. And that will get you into the scoring. We need 2 people per card to be doing the scoring for us. Card allocations will be done tomorrow, as I said, so check PDGA for those, and I'll put a post up on Facebook letting you know when they're done. In terms of the weather, we are expecting a bit of rain, so hopefully it all comes Saturday night and by Sunday it's done. But if it is wet, just make sure you've got a raincoat, an umbrella, a few towels, so you can get through the round relatively unaffected. We do have 9 temporary baskets out on the course. So at the end of the event, if you are able to grab the basket and bring it back to the car park by hole 11, that's just going to make pack up at the end a bit easier, and grab any OB flags and T-pad signs if you're able to as well. If not, we'll run around and grab them. The schedule for the day. We are going to be teeing off at 9 a.m. The reason for the slightly later start is the town of Vic Park didn't want us to be waking up all their residents, so we've got to be a bit respectful. 9 a.m. was the earliest booking that they would give us, so just keep it down during practice. Between 8 and 8:30, we will have registrations open and the course will be set up for play, or practice, I should say. I'm expecting rounds to last about 2.5 hours. There's a bit of walking. The course won't be overly full. We've got about 50 players at the moment, so we should be able to flow quite nicely. So that'll take us to about 11:30 for round one. We'll then have an hour's break from the time that the last card finishes their first round, and then we'll start round two again. Remember, we don't have a players' meeting on Sunday morning because we're doing it now. So it's your responsibility to be at your starting hole ready to tee off by 9 a.m. If you're not there and your card's ready to go and it's 9 a.m., even if you rock up halfway through them teeing off, you will miss that hole. And for every hole that you miss after that, it's a par +4 stroke penalty. So yeah, just make sure that you get there on time. We on the schedule on the website, we've got junior presentations down for in between round one and two. But our junior is actually going to be playing 2 rounds, so that will be done at the end of the day with everyone else's. So we'll go aim for a 12:30 tee off, just depending on what time we finish round one, and then be done by about 3, and then have presentations as soon as we can after that. Try and get out nice and early. HQ will be set up around hole one, hole two area near those toilets. So meet there for presentations and anything else that you need to find out about. Check in will be there as well. All right, let's get into the hole descriptions. I will go through both the gold and the blue course together, and just any of the holes that are significantly different, I will mention as we go. So hole one, there will be OB flagged down the left side of the fairway where the mulch is. There will be a little bit of a bubble around the green just to make it a bit fairer. So if you are in that OB, regular OB rules apply. There's no drop zone. Hole two, the only OB to worry about is the bollards. As we do in WA, we'll be using the outside edge of the bollards for the OB line. So if there's any part of your disc inside the bollards, then you're safe. Or if you hit a bollard and then kick out, then we'll count that as having crossed inbounds. So you would advance to where you crossed in and then play from there. Hole three, nothing to worry about again except for the bollards. Hole four, no OB at all. Hole five, nothing to worry about. There is bollards on the left, but I don't think you'll get there. There will be a mandatory on the far right tree. That's just to keep shots away from hole 8's tee pad. Not hole 8, hole 7. Hole 6 is a temporary basket. We're playing from regular hole 6 tee pad. We have a blue and a gold, no OB to worry about there. Hole 7, we're playing from underneath the trees. We'll have a temporary tee pad, and I will have some AstroTurf or something down because that sand is pretty soft. I might leave a rake there as well, so if it gets messed up, feel free to just lift it up, rake underneath it, and put it back down. We'll be playing to regular hole 6 basket there. Just watch out on that tee pad for people playing on hole 5, and just use common sense. So if there's people in the way or people playing, just stay out of their way. Hole 8, just some OB at the back where the bollards are. Hole 9, nothing to worry about, playing to regular hole 9 basket from a temporary tee pad off the grass. Hole 10 is regular hole 8 on the course. There is OB bollards way over to the left, but you shouldn't reach them. Hole 11 is the first one over in Sir James Mitchell Park. We're playing under some trees and in between a car park and a footpath. So just take care of people walking on the footpath. It hasn't been super busy whenever I've been down there. But yeah, just play it safe, as I said. If you are on or over the footpath, then you're OB on hole 11, or on the left-hand side, if you're outside the bollards, then you are OB as well. On hole 12, this is probably the one with the most OB to worry about and probably the most complicated, so I'll try and explain it as clearly as I can. We have 2 different holes. The gold hole is slightly longer and probably has more OB in play. So when you tee off on the gold hole, there is a mandatory If you miss the mandatory, then you proceed to the drop zone, which is the blue tee pad. There's OB on the right-hand side. So if you're on the path or over it into hole 11's fairway, then you are OB. There's also a path that runs across the middle of the fairway. So if you land on that path, then you're OB. That path then heads off and along the road. So where it joins the road, that will become the OB line. Before that, there's bollards. So if you're outside the bollards on the left, early in the hole, then you're OB. And then if you're on or over the path later in the hole, then that is OB as well. It'll be pretty clearly flagged. So hopefully, once you get there, it's all pretty clear. That blue hole, there is the mandatory is right by the blue tee, so the mandatory is not in play for the blue. The OB on the right isn't really in play for the blue either, so it's just that river of OB across the middle of the fairway, and then the bollards and the path down the left to worry about for the blue hole. Hole 13, no OB in sight unless you end up in the backyard of a house, in which case that will be OB, and probably don't jump into the houses to get your discs back, please. They, judging by the sizes of those houses, they've definitely got security cameras. Hole 14, we have a double mando between the first tree of each of the two groves of trees. It'll be clearly marked there. May be a little bit difficult to see if people have made that mandatory at times, so just make sure everyone on the card is paying attention. There will be drop zones marked by those, as well as infinity lines. Once you get through the mandatory, there is a drainage creek that runs down the left-hand side of the hole. If you are in or over that creek, then that plays as out of bounds as well. That will be flagged, so it should be pretty easy to see where that is. It starts, there's like a metal railing which will show you where the start of the creek is. So anything short of that is safe. Hole 15, we are playing a short little 82-meter hole. It's a par 3. Same thing, drainage creek behind it. If you're in the creek or over it, that is out of bounds. Hole 16 is probably the biggest change between the gold and the blue. The gold has a mandatory just because there's a bike shelter on the left, so we don't want people throwing big hyzer forehands through that. So make sure you stay to the right of that tree on the left. There'll be a drop zone by that mandatory. Anything on the footpath or the concrete there is out of bounds. The blue hole is much further to the right, and it's a bit shorter. The bike shelter and the path shouldn't come into play on the blue, but once again, if you do end up in there, then that's out of bounds. After hole 16, we've got a bit of a long walk back till you get back to the car park between the two parks. There will be a island hole in there. It's hazard outside of the island, so if you miss the island, play from where your disc ends up and you take a 1-stroke penalty, and continue until you finish the hole. It's 90 meters for the golds and 70 meters for the blues. And then finally, hole 18, we're playing from regular hole 9 tee pad to a temporary basket. There's a mandatory tree about a meter or two off the tee pad. That's just to stop any sidearms going onto the footpath there. That footpath on or over that is out of bounds as well. That won't be flagged because we don't want to be tripping up cyclists and joggers. So just, yeah, anything that is completely onto the concrete is out of bounds there. All right, layouts for the day. In round 1, we'll have a bunch of people playing the gold. So MA 1, 2, 3, 4, MA 40, MA 50, MPO, and MP 40 are all playing the gold. Sorry, not MA4. MA4, all our female divisions and our junior divisions will all be playing on the blue layout in round 1. Then in round 2, after lunch, we'll only have 3 divisions on the gold. Everyone else will get to play the blues. So those 3 divisions are MA1, MP40, and MPO. So round two, just those three divisions on the gold and everyone else on the blue. T-pads will have T-pad signs on them. If there is a gold hole, the T-pad will be gold. The T-pad sign will be gold. If there's a blue hole or just a hole that has the same T-pad for both, then the T-pad sign is blue. We'll also have purple flags at the blue holes and gold flags at the gold holes. And if it's the same T-pad for both, we'll have a purple and a blue flag at the T, just to avoid any confusion. There's no holes that have more than one basket, so shouldn't be an issue there. That is everything that I can think of. If I've missed anything, please just chuck a message in the comments, and that way I can respond to it and everyone else can see it because they've probably got the same question. If you've got any other questions, if you haven't signed up and you want to, there's still time, provided you get it done reasonably early tomorrow on Saturday. Actually, who am I kidding? I'll probably let you join in even on Sunday morning. So, yeah, sign up. Should be a good day. Looking forward to playing it. Should be a nice layout with a bit of challenge in the distance. So, yeah, can't wait. Really excited. Let's hope for some good weather, and I'll see you all on Sunday. Ciao.